Idea, hope and fear. Do we go to the fear voluntarily? Do we have to fear? We need to fear in order for us to have a good life. We escape that. There is hope, hope and fear. Human being is motivated by hope and fear. Hope we have this, of course we hope. We don't want anything to interrupt our expectation. The fear, do I have to fear? Why do I have to fear? I don't need to fear. As I said, when we say motivated by hope and fear, in other words, it's a part of his innate. He was born with that. It's a part of his innate. It's not something about the acquired. When the Creator described this, describe people with balance, with equilibrium. He said, they pray to God, fearing. He used the adverb. The adverb is describing in continuity. Is like, he's a slow driver. He drives slowly. Here we're talking about continuous, something continuously. The action, he said, they pray to God. It's not about the prayer as you might follow the 5 prayers a day. No, you pray when you ask God about something. He said, fear, with fear, in other words, he used the adverb, and hope. In other words, they have this. Therefore, if a person doesn't do it, doesn't show this kind of dependency, he shows his self-sufficiency. He is contradicting. He is innate. What the God Creator asks you to say, to pray, to do this, or to show your dependency with these 2 wings, here you maintain the balance. Consider a helicopter. There is too much power in one wing. It doesn't have a wing, it's something to... It cannot, if one wing is stronger than the other, here you're going to be circling, pivoting, but there is no action forward. You're not going to move. This is like something physical. But when it comes to our psyche, we don't know about this. We don't. We live, it's like we are transported all the time without realizing. We don't pay attention, we don't make an effort. And then, if we don't use our mind, we will be teleguided, one way or the other. The Prophet, peace be upon him, he prays at night a lot. He was praying a lot, up to the point that he felt like his feet were swollen. His wife Aisha, radiallahu ta'ala anha, she said, didn't God forgive your previous sins and your future sins? It's like, why you fear? It's like it is written in the Quran, God forgave all the previous and the future. Hey, that's it, He said, why shouldn't I be thankful? In other words, I pray thankful. Look at here, there is a balance. Even though, when you say, I fear God, oh my God, forgive me what I did, something wrong, he's really protected. He's not, but he's showing an example to human being. How it is. I don't stay long. I wrote something, it was way back. I cannot remember everything, but I prefer to read it. I hope I won't be boring you. Human beings are motivated by hope and fear, which are 2 forces that are attractive and repulsive at the same time. These 2 forces intuitively exist within human, regulate his behavior, and give him a feeling of serenity, or tranquil existence. Hope triggers pleasure, approach, leaning, loosening, and relaxation. Fear triggers anger, sadness, abstention, contraction, and remorse. The biggest mistakes in psychology, modern psychology, they consider fear, anger, sadness, and remorse as something bad and negative. As such, they try to eliminate them. Actually, they will never succeed. They just create an imbalance in a person's life by promoting an escape from reality. People cannot devoid of their impulses because their impulses are part of their intuitivism. If there is no fear in you, you will approach every dangerous situation without having the slightest feeling preventing you from that approach. If there is no anger inside you, there is nothing to incite you, your reflexes to defend you from external danger. If there is no remorse inside you, you aren't able to recuperate and compensate for your past. However, we have to emphasize something here. If fear goes beyond the limit, it isolates a person from the joy of existence. It gets to a severity where the person cannot have any pleasure in food, any pleasure in sex, or any pleasure in approaching life in general. This is a suicidal state. As such, fear has to be counterbalanced by hope. Also, if anger goes beyond limits, it becomes psychoneurotic. Thus, anger also has to be counterbalanced by hope. If remorse of conscience goes beyond limits, it creates desperation and depression. Therefore, the middle ground is the healthiest position. The force of hope, which is in fact pleasure, is so powerful that it can drag you to the extreme. If you enter that extreme, you are then shifted against your will to the fear section. If you see a person leaning a lot to his passions while thinking it is a permissible happiness, you find the same dimensional repercussions occurring as in sadness. As such, as much as you see him supposedly being happy, you expect him to be sad. As much as you see him being happy, you find him sensitive to anger. The role of the person is to maintain himself in the middle while taking advantage of the two forces. Getting back to our analysis, pleasure is not with hope, which only leads to a supposed or false pleasure. Pleasure is with the force you provide by abstaining from going too far to the extreme. This is where pleasure resides. Also, your refusal to go too far into fear, which can trigger anger, gains for you a force that is itself a pleasure. If the two forces drag you one way or the other, you vacillate between extremes and experience this equilibrium. The immediate variability in the state of consciousness between the two extremes is the cause of many physical diseases, such as the flow of blood sugar in the brain, which is influenced by the stress cycle, the constant release of adrenaline, which provokes the heart to beat faster and cause high blood pressure, diabetes, and a lot more. You can say that almost all diseases originate from these neglect, psychosomatic sicknesses. Hope and fear are feelings, but they are conducted involuntarily from the cerebrospinal axis of the nervous system. Nonetheless, they are regulated voluntarily by a person's intention and by the development of his will power. We have previously seen that feelings are chemically induced in the brain. Serotonin, GABA, and keep going. dopamine, etc. We are now speaking about their extension in the body. There are 12 cranial nerves in the brain that are grouped into 12 pairs of sensory devices. They regulate a great variety of bodily functions. They innervate the smooth muscles of the blood vessels, the heart muscles, etc. These are autonomic nerves and are divided into two types, which are sympathetic and parasympathetic. The sympathetic nerves trigger muscle contraction. On the other hand, parasympathetic nerves trigger muscle relaxation. The study of anatomy is limited here, but the study of theosophy is helping us navigate. Getting back to hope and fear, we said a person is responsible, and now regarding those 12 pairs of nerves, we are saying they are autonomic. What is the catch? If you go to the extreme of hope or pleasure, even though the parasympathetic nerves trigger muscle relaxation, and even though you think that pleasure is an arena of relaxation, in fact, you have provoked the other side to occur, which consists of the sympathetic nerves that trigger muscle contraction. That's why you hear a lot about the following symptoms caused by stress, such as headaches, stiff neck, insomnia, and fatigue, rapid heartbeat, and other repercussions on the physical body, which include stomach, legs, and chronic back pain caused by spasm, etc. Furthermore, once a person experiences these symptoms, he then thinks that he needs more pleasure in order to relax, when in fact he is unexpectedly and exponentially increasing the severity of the muscle contraction by the sympathetic nerves, which causes even more spasm. It keeps going, and then afterward the person will be swinging loosely and rapidly from slackness to stiffness, and from supposed happiness to unexpected sadness. When there is no force ensuring the avoidance of extremes, a person vacillates between a total floppiness and a total spasm. In other words, here comes the state of sloth and fatigue, and then everything is transferred to chemical regulation. In other words, antidotes have to regulate a person's state of comfort. That's why you sometimes see a person vacillates between marked jolliness and a totally different and opposed mood. This simply illustrates that the physical body has run out of those chemicals, OTC. Well, they are not over the counter anyway, prescribed or prescriptions remedies. But a human being is transferred something that was more spiritual. He had to deal with it. Because of our neglect, we will be teleguided by the chemo system. Listen, thank you for your attention. I hope I wasn't boring you, and I see you soon.